Over 100,000 federal workers are preparing to leave their positions. 100,000. This could be the largest wave of departures in U.S. history. This comes as part of a program introduced by the Trump administration, aiming to reduce the size of government employment. But that's not all. We could soon face a government shutdown. Congress needs to act quickly, or essential services to millions of Americans could be disrupted. This could lead to up to 275,000 workers leaving, whether through resignations, retirements, or other departures. The administration believes these changes will save billions and improve efficiency. However, unions are raising concerns as they believe this will impact the individuals who have dedicated their careers to serving the public. This is more than just a few departures. It's a change that could reshape public services in the U.S. Congress must act now. Stay tuned for more updates and make sure.
So, if the companies are losing like 100,000 people from their job, tell me how many people are going to suffer in America today. America are just experiencing the rapture. They all talked about the rapture that God was sending, maybe on earth to come and carry His people from the earth. But now they are all crying because they are being mass laid off. Because people are losing jobs, people are now becoming jobless in America, and everyone is crying, everyone is mourning, everyone is regretting for voting for Trump. Maybe, I don't know, this is the cost of you are refusing to go after your own interest. You vote for somebody else's interest. So tell me, for how long will this thing happen, and how many of you will be able to survive this? So this is Global Media. Subscribe, share, and leave a comment. Let's keep watching the video, and tell me in the comments that how many people in America will be able to survive this problem.
Tomorrow, the largest mass exodus from federal employment that has ever taken place in the history of the United States will take place, when an estimated 120,000 individuals who took Donald Trump and Republicans' deferred resignation programs to escape hostile work environments leave federal service. This will coincide with the largest brain drain ever in the history of the United States federal service. U.S. citizens will, maybe not immediately, but for sure within the next 6 months to a year, begin to see that federal organizations are faltering. And that is by design. Now, if you're one of these individuals who took the deferred resignation program, and at the time you took it, you believed it was the right choice, just know that it was. Know that you made the choice that was right for you based upon the information you had at that time. And there's many of us, myself included, who are federal employee adjacent, federal workforce adjacent. And we're going to miss you. And we know the work you put in. We know the hard work that you did every single day. And that's not going to be easily forgotten by those of us that understand how much you cared about your job, about your customers, about your veterans, about the people you took care of, the American citizens who might not even know that you exist. And that means you were doing your job well. If you took a deferred resignation and tomorrow is your last day in federal service, just know that your time is appreciated, that I, for one, appreciate you, and you're going to be missed by coworkers and by people who didn't even know you existed, especially when things start to fall apart. But things will get better for you. It is a hostile work environment out there right now. It's hard finding jobs. I understand that. But hopefully you'll never again used as a political pawn. Hopefully you no longer have to worry about a new president making you so sick your hair begins to fall out. Hopefully you never have to worry about Congress getting rid of your program and you losing your job that way. I hope that the decisions that you made were the best ones for you, and that you find the peace and happiness that you deserve. Because America's going to miss you, and tomorrow begins the biggest brain drain in the history of this country. And you'll be missed, and we love you.
Do you remember me saying, get your passport back in November and December? Well, the State Department just laid off thousands of workers today. Who processes passport applications and renewals? Oh, that's right, the State Department. At least 1,300 people got notified that they were being laid off or terminated today, Friday, July 11th. And there are rumors of upwards of 3,000 total job cuts across the board. This is massive, and it's all been made possible by the recent Supreme Court ruling, shocking, allowing the Trump administration's RIF, or reduction in force, to actually take place. This is the first mass layoff we've seen since that ruling, and it impacts the entire department. Everything from administrative civil servants, the ones processing passport applications or renewals, to foreign service. Yeah, the people who are actually stationed overseas in our embassies and consulates to assist.
They're showing us what's going to happen before it happens. They are preparing for a mass shutdown and layoff, okay? They have already sent agencies notifications and said, when we shut down this time, people aren't going on furlough, they're being fired. And they are not coming back. They are letting people know ahead of time. They want thousands of jobs cut in the government, which could be a good thing. And I work for the government. I'm working right now. Well, I'm not really working because I work for the government, but if it shuts down, it's going to last a little while, and whatever happens is going to be way more permanent than it usually is. It's not going to be a shutdown for a couple of days and they pass something in the mind and then we just keep chugging along. Things are about to change. Jobs are going to get cut, people are going to get fired, and those are going to be taken over by different agencies, by AI, because we don't need certain jobs. We just don't.
All of us don't have to sit here and watch them crying, because all of them knew this was coming, and they were aware of this will come, and it will affect them in one way or the other. But now, see how they're crying. See how they are regretting going home jobless, going home regretting. Comment below, tell me, how far will this thing going to hurt the Americans? It's for their own choice.
Drill, baby, drill. Remember what Donald J. Trump said? Drill, baby, drill. Well, I have some breaking financial news. Another oil giant located out of Texas, Exxon, is going to be immediately laying off 2,000 employees. You heard me correctly. 2,000 employees starting immediately. ExxonMobil located in Texas. So I guess drill, baby, drill is not a thing. Now let me tell you, layoffs are going to be ramping up. Here's what I want you to do. Make sure that you are checking warntracker.com. They are required to give a 60-day notice for most companies. Just type in your state and the year. Also, keep up with your local information and scuttlebutt. Is your company not doing well? Make sure that you have a written budget, planning out your money. I would reduce everything right now. Nothing that you don't need, you should not be paying for. Get your finances in order. Some extremely troubled times are coming. There are many warnings on the wall. Many.
100,000 federal workers just flat out resigned today. You're going to see headlines about these 100,000 federal employees resigning all day today, and their whole goal is to scare you. But you know me, I'm a truth seeker, so let's talk about what's really going on, how it impacts you, and what you can expect moving forward. But as always, hit that follow button because I'm always bringing you daily news so you know how it impacts you. So look at this beautiful headline. It says the largest mass resignation in U.S. history as 100,000 federal workers quit today. Now, who are these federal workers and why did they quit all of a sudden? So we can see that 100,000 federal workers are formally set to quit today. It's the result of the Trump administration's fork in the road deferred resignation program that staffers have taken up over previous months, who were allowed to transfer their workload and go on administrative leave until the end of their official date of federal service on September 30th of 2025. And then it goes on to say that the Office of Personnel Management tells Fortune that 150,000 federal workers in total took the deal, with the majority leaving today and others exiting by the end of the year. So we have 154,000 total workers that either quit today or are going to quit by the end of the year. But why are they quitting all of a sudden? Well, it's due to the deferred resignation program, which was offered to federal workers in February, which gave employees the choice of accepting a resignation package or risking a future layoff. The resignation package offered federal employees salary payments until the end of September. Over 200,000 workers chose to receive full salary and benefits for up to 8 months while on administrative leave. So basically, these workers knew that they were going to get laid off back in February, and they had the choice of resigning then or continuing to receive payments until the end of September, at which point then they were going to get fired. So that explains why they quit before they got fired. But the question is, why are we laying off 154,000 federal workers? Well, this is part of a cost-cutting program that Trump talked about, where his plan is to cut federal workers who he feels aren't necessary and save the country $28 billion. It's important to note that we're going to have to pay $14.8 billion to these workers for resignation packages, but at the end of the day, we're still saving about $14 billion. Now let's get to the juicy part. How exactly does this impact you? Well, I can't speak for certain, but what I can tell you is they've been on administrative leave or transferring their workload since February. And as we can see, none of the federal services that we as Americans depend on have slowed down at all. So what I would expect moving forward is no big change really, except probably some cost cutting for the United States. So be careful reading just headlines, because this stuff has been going on since February and nothing has really changed too much.
Did you all hear about President Trump calling for no more property tax? And this is across the entire United States. What do you think is going to come of that? Then the Department of Defense comes out and lets us know that the strikes on Iran set their nuclear weapons development back 2 years. Marjorie Taylor Greene announced plans to introduce legislation that would require the U.S. Census to only count American citizens. Speaker Mike Johnson said yesterday, "It doesn't say in government we trust. It says in God we trust." Congressman Wesley Hunt from Texas filed a resolution to officially declare July as American Pride Month. It seems that Mom Donnie is already in a little bit of trouble and receiving backlash. Seems he doesn't know what his ethnicity really is. Can't talk much about that on here, but go look into it. You all have a wonderful Saturday.
Donald Trump and his advisors today confirmed that since the shutdown's going to be happening, that they are going to be looking at permanently doing reductions in force of federal employees. If you don't believe me, let's watch 3 different clips.
How many federal workers do you plan to lay off?
Well, we may do a lot, and that's only because of the Democrats. And
of the legal truth that if money is not appropriated for a position, then they then have the authority to eliminate the position. Of course, it's very intuitive, and that's an enormous amount of leverage over the Democrats.
now, with that being said, we can do things during the shutdown that are irreversible, that are bad for them and irreversible by them.
All of these clips were specifically about the government shutdown. All of these clips were specifically about federal employees and the White House terminating federal employees through reductions in force. Over the next 5 days, it's expected that 400 to 500,000 federal employees will receive RIF notices, reduction in force memos, which then starts a 60-day countdown. At the end of the 60 days, they're fired from federal service. They'll get a severance and they'll be shoved out the door. Some of them with decades of experience. All because Russell Voigt, the Office of Management and Budget Director and one of the writers of Project 2025, hates federal employees. He's in fact on record saying he wants to traumatize federal employees, make them sick when they think about going to work, and he wants them to leave federal service. Why? Because he doesn't believe that the government should provide basic services to American citizens, and that the New Deal by FDR corrupted the American way of life. He wants to revert America back to the late 1800s, early 1920s. So for hundreds of thousands of federal employees and their families, totaling over 1 million people, this shutdown isn't just about a lack of appropriations. It potentially is the difference between them having a job or not. And if you might want to say, oh, layoffs happen all the time, not illegally. and they don't happen like this. Because everything the White House is attempting to do right now is illegal, but they continue to get away with it because Trump supporters, Republican supporters, conservatives in America refuse to hold the people.
This is state mass layoffs. People are losing jobs. People are becoming jobless. And you know how the economy is taking Americans. People from Texas, people from all over the America, they are now can't believe what's happening to them. Because this is what they know that they were making a mistake for voting for Trump, voting red. So this is a State Department employee being begin to cry as they are being laid off, sent back home. So where will you begin? And if you can see closely, these people are old. You see, they ain't any younger. They won't be able to be looking for jobs from all over the country to get a job. So if they are being laid off, they are supposed to go and look for another job from where? America will really have to face this on themselves because this is what they made for them. They made it for themselves. They made it for them themselves.
I told y'all I wasn't going to shut up about my vacation, but this time it's political. Like, what do you mean I'm about to fly to a different country and there's going to be a government shutdown? And anything that was basically defunded by the big, beautiful bill is going to be impacted by the government shutdown on the 1st, which is the date that I leave. So that means TSA, ATC, which is air traffic control. I already planned on getting to the airport early, but apparently we're getting there earlier, even though no one's usually there. We're getting there earlier to make sure we can get through TSA and make our flight. And let's hope that our flights aren't delayed or ultimately canceled because the government can't get their fucking shit together. I've been in vacation mode, so I have not really kept up with politics, and my whole platform is politics, so I'm sorry. But I don't even know what they're bickering about this time. I feel like we do this every year. So when I heard about it, I didn't really think anything of it. And then someone was like, you know, if you're flying, like, this is going to impact you. Anything that was impacted by the big, beautiful bill, a government shutdown is going to basically fuck you. So send your good vibes. I'll even accept prayers to any god. Send me all the good thoughts. I know my flight is not important in the big scheme of things when it comes to a government shutdown, but you know what? I paid for this and I have every right to feel disappointed if something happens, but I'm going to keep positive and hope that we make it there. Honestly, I don't even care if we make it back. I just care about making it there.